Holy actual moly, I can't believe these kind of blaster do exist. Hello, what is up guys, I'm your host Gordon and welcome to another one of my video. What I got over here is a very interesting blaster though. This over here is actually a disc firing AWM silhouette blaster. Holy actual moly. I can totally imagine like an M4, a P90 or maybe an MP5 disc blaster. Never would I have imagined that they actually made something like this, and it is very long and pretty disproportionate in the same time. And of course I found one of this blaster in one of old Mac Potato's warehouse. Well, if you guys are interested with one of these, all the necessary information will be provided in the description down below. First, we're gonna connect the buttstock, attach the barrel, the fake suppressor, the fake scope and lock it in place, and the bipod. Battery compartment is located at the bottom of the grip. Pull out the wire, connect the battery, close the battery door. Load in the foam disc, load in the blaster, and this is how the blaster looks like with everything installed. Okay, first look at the blaster. As you can see, the aesthetic, the silhouette of the blaster is definitely an AWM. And the scale of the AWM, of course, is another one of those very funny scale. Look at the aesthetic, look at how disproportionate this AWM is, like very long front and like tiny buttstock. I mean, come on, take a look at this, man. This over here is more of a disc blaster, just like one of those Nerf Vortex, which is these kind of foam discs. It is actually flywheel powered. The build quality of the blaster, I would say it is pretty decent. It does not have any plastic squeaking noise, which is kind of surprising. The color scheme of the blaster is kind of funny. I mean, there's like a wording over here written there, J-Shot, and we got like a dragon logo over here. Some random Chinese word at the buttstock and at the body of the blaster. A green suppressor. I mean, this suppressor size is actually pretty girthy though. I mean, there's actually one thing that I would like to talk about is actually the build quality of the barrel. Surprisingly enough, the build quality of the barrel is actually pretty good. Just that it is actually a shame that this blaster does not have one of those appropriate AWM size. I got it. This is a toy. This is made for children. I mean, it's not to intimidate the public or something. That's why they make this kind of a scale over here. You know, the grip of the blaster is so small. Holding the grip felt a little weird and a little tight. I mean, the trigger guard is okay. Trigger pull pretty smooth. As for the buttstock of the blaster, this does not come with a folding buttstock or an adjustable buttstock. I mean, shouldering this blaster is kind of weird because it is a little too tight for me and it is long at the front, man. Of course, we got sling mounting point at the buttstock as well as a sling mounting point at the front. The accessory that came with the blaster, I would say it is pretty cool and useful for some. For example, the bipod over here is one of these useful version of a bipod because certain bipod just felt really flimsy. At least this one felt solid. And the scope over here obviously is just for aesthetic purposes, but there is a cool quirks for the scope over here. As you can see, you can actually put the scope aside and both left and right, which is something that I do not know why they wanted to do something like that. Take a look at that. Maybe this is for tactical purposes, which I do not know what's the tactics of that. And in terms of Picatinny rail, we got a roll of Picatinny rail on top of the blaster, both left and right hand side of the blaster, and one tiny little Picatinny rail for your bipod. And the AWM over here comes with the exact same magazine with the previous P90, which is of course a dual chamber magazine. Each chamber houses 30 discs. Whenever you empty a chamber, you would just have to pull out the magazine, flip it around, and just put it back in there, and you are ready to continue firing. That's a pretty simple one. In terms of firing mode, this blaster comes with semi-auto, which is okay and weird in the same time, and of course the weirdest part, full auto. For an AWM, a bolt action blaster, and comes with semi-auto and full auto. This is cursed, man. I mean, there is a bolt over here, but unfortunately this is a fake bolt, so it's for decoration purposes. I really do hope that this actually comes with a functioning bolt, but unfortunately, yeah, this is what we're getting over here. So without further ado, let us go test the blaster out. Okay, we are back, guys. The performance is actually pretty similar across all this firing blaster. This blaster can actually fire from 65 FPS all the way to 74 FPS. I would say a pretty decent performance, more of a elite standard of FPS if I would say. Even the FPS is not that high. It can actually travels pretty far. I would say at least 8 to 9 meters. And in terms of accuracy, this is all good to go in around 7 meters. And of course, operating this blaster, I do encounter a little bit of weirdness. I do not encounter any jams. It is not really a big problem, just that the blaster is a little bit too long. I mean, when you actually fires the blaster, the disc sometimes will actually bounce around in the barrel, or sometimes it will just graze the barrel, which don't really happen too often, which causes an FPS drop, or sometimes, which is very rare, changes the direction of the disc. In order to avoid such problem, you would just have to remove the fake suppressor over here and you are good to go. No jams, no weird direction changing, no FPS drops and whatsoever. But of course, doing so, it took away a lot of aesthetic points. Let us just put this thing back together real quick. There we go. At least it looks a little better with it. And will this blaster passes the wall test? As you can see, the blaster can of course passes the wall test, but not with flying colors, because when you actually put the blaster this way with all the weird Chinese word over here, it looks kind of funny though. But if you put it on this direction with just like a J shot written over here, it's all good to go. Which thankfully all my blaster just facing that direction. So yep, I guess that's all for today, guys. So if you guys like this video, feel free to smash on the like button. I will be posting video every Saturday, so do remember to click on the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. So yep, Gordon's checking out, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Adios, guys.